Charlie, Ghana Premier League, yes, Ghana Premier League. Something happened over the weekend. You know, the GPL, as we term it, the Ghana Premier League, yes, was in full force over the weekend. And then far away in Hohoe, yes, where Hohoe United, this is their maiden edition in the Ghana Premier League. They qualified from the Division 1 just last season, so they are playing their first ever Ghana Premier League season. So their first match, their debut came in Accra, where they held the Giants has to put to a 0-0 draw. So in their second match, which was supposed to be their home game match, like the match, like the biggest match ever in their history, was held last weekend in the Hohoe Sports Stadium in Hohoe. They came up against Young Apostles. You know, the Hohoe fans, because they went all the way to Accra to pick some valuable 1 points. They knew that the game against Apostle was even done and dusted even before the blast of the whistle. But then it didn't quite go as expected. They played the game with 1-1 scoreline, ending each team with 1 point and then giving the rest of the point to the FA. Well, that's not what we are coming to discuss. We are discussing something that happened. I don't understand. Something happened. Maybe Force will be the right person to talk about it more. I don't know. But then, can you believe that in the first 20 minutes, like 1, 2, 3, 20 minutes, first 20 minutes, both teams played with 10 players each. Not that either of the sides had a red card. No. They just decided to fill in 10 players each for the game. When we delve deeper to see why, what went into the minds of them, why did they come up with 10 players each? I mean, ways and means. How many of you know ways and means in football, though? So, their last players were on the touchline, waiting for the opponents to enter first before theirs. You know, Hohoe United were like, if Young Apostles player won't enter first, I won't also enter. Young Apostles also said, if you also won't enter the pitch, I also won't enter. So, they had to play with 10 men each until the 20th minute before their 11 players entered the pitch. Is that against the rule? No, I don't think it's against any FIFA or Australian football rules. But then, force, your take on this, ways and means in football. Why would the team go on the field and then decide to play with 10 men instead of 11, waiting for the opponent to enter before he, and then ultimately also waiting for the other side to enter before he's like, when the last player enters the pitch, does it have any impact on the game?
Does it?
No. Big no for me.
It just shows you the stupidity of our football. You understand what I mean? No. You see, no. Please. If you want me to leave the studio, it's fine. You know, we've gotten to a point where we have to call a spade and call a shovel a shovel. You understand what I mean? I don't. It is not against FIFA rules. You can start a competitive FIFA football match with 8 players. Do you understand? So for them to have started with 10 players, I don't have a problem with that.
Yes.
But the reasoning behind the supposed, reasoning, is absurd. The absurdity of the reasoning alone, makes it nauseating to the extent that I ask myself, we want to grow our football, and we are still doing this primitive, things to it hurts the brand image, right? Because if a clubs want to, if the corporate entity wants to come on board and he sees stuff like this, you understand what I mean?
Put them off.
Clubs believing in spirituality, clubs believing in deities, clubs believing in off-field machinations to win football match on the pitch. It's just absurd, And you see, it goes to say that when you fail to prepare, tactically, technically, when you fail to do things in an appropriate way, you resort to voodooism. You resort to things that are not known in the football circles, and that's exactly what Hohoe United and Young Apostle did indicate or did prove on the day. And to me, they can be sanctioned, but it just goes to tell you or to show you that they are not ready. They are not ready to organize competitive FIFA football, because if your mind is that a deity, if your mind is that a spiritual godfather is going to tell you what to do on a football pitch, then you are not ready to run football. You ask yourself, is football physical or spiritual? And I can tell you for the fact, there's no spirituality in football. There's nobody should lie to you. Nobody should put that emblem on you that is spiritual. There's nothing, absolutely zero spiritualism in football. It is how you prepare. It is how good your players are. It is how good your technical bench is. It is how good your team is. That wins you trophies. You understand? So there are things that as a people we need to move away from, and this is exactly one of the things that as a people we need to move away from, since we want to grow our football to reach a certain extent?
First is telling you guys, hey, if you want to reach a certain extent in football, these are some of the things you need to move from. Deity and then spiritualism doesn't play a part in football. This modern world, football has become very, very technical and scientific. So if you think playing or starting a match with 10 men will aid you or will help you win, then you're definitely getting it wrong. So Hohoe United and Young Apostles, and then the Ghana Premier League in general, Charlie, let's not see this again. It's a disgraceful and a shameful act, Charlie. Nobody goes into a war with a less number or numeric disadvantage, Charlie. You need 11 players on the field. Yeah, you can go with 8 players, as my pundits did mention, but then that's not what the game is all about, Charlie. Do the right thing, and then let's move forward. If we need promotions and a scholarship in our game, never repeat that act again. Hohoe United. And first, the Ghana Premier League, once again, they are in match with 2. Are you impressed so far with organization, the style of play, the pitches? Every time I know you've watched a couple, do you think we are getting there or we are almost there?
If you put on a scale from 1 to 9 or 1 to 10, the wholesomeness of the Ghana Premier League, I'm going to put it at 4.
Hey,
you know. No, you see, if you don't, you see, I am not downgrading our product. It is our product. But if we don't talk about the ills, if we don't talk about the shortfalls, if we don't talk about the wrongdoings, how are we going to build a product up? Do you know, a couple of seasons ago, let's say 20 seasons ago, the Italian Serie A was the best league in the world.
Yes, I agree.
The German Bundesliga.
Yes.
The Spanish La Liga. The English had to critique themselves. They had to know where the shortfalls were. They had to know where the mistakes and the problems were. And then today, as I speak with you, there's absolutely no football in any part of the world that can hold its own against the EPL.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Do you understand? And they have kept that mileage. They have kept that up for the past 20-something years.
Yes.
It just tells you that when you are doing things right, things will fall into place. Look at the Egyptian league. Look at the South African league. I get to the point.
Yes.
Look at a Moroccan league. Look at the Algerian league. Look at the pitches.
Even Sudanese and Iraq.
You understand? You see, they are not better than us. I get to the point.
Yes.
When we had won our 4th African Cup of Nations,
Cameroon had just
the best thing behind us was Egypt with 1. Cameroon had 0. Nigeria had 0. I get to the point. You see, so things must be put in order. Things must be put in play, because if you are playing, if your national team is playing, and the most amount of players you can have from your league in the national team is 1, which is the goalkeeper. Even that was as a result of the blunders that were being committed by the European goalkeepers.
Yes.
Then we have a problem with our product.
Yes.
Do you understand? We have a problem because, see, we have strikers who are not scoring goals, isn't it? And we have strikers in the Ghana Premier League who are scoring goals, but they are deemed to not be fit enough to be a part of the Black Star. So that should tell you that our product is half-baked. Our product is not up to the standard that we all would want it to be. And if we do not talk about it, then how are we going to find the loopholes and then improve the product? Because I can tell you for a fact, Ghana does not lack when it comes to talent.
Never.
Ghana does not lack when it comes to producing players. But one, the coaching is susceptible. You understand? Because I can tell you for a fact that I know players who are not being coached very well. The pitches are not good. Because I was at the Legon Sports Stadium the other time.
Yes, I remember.
The pitch looks great. You understand? But you look at the other surroundings. You see, a football pitch is not in segregation to the stadium in itself. Every single aspect of the stadium comes together. It's an assemblement to what a stadium should be. You understand? So these are things that as a footballing nation we have to put in order, because you go to certain grounds and you see the pitches and the yourself. So professional footballers play football on these pitches.
Very, very awful.
You understand? It is not aesthetically pleasing, because when you have cameras on such pieces, it doesn't sell your product. That is why we will be glued to watch the English Premier League. That is why we will be glued to watch the German Bundesliga. That is why even if you are watching a league from Kenya, you are interested because the camera view is great, the pitches are good, and we don't see this in our own country. And these are things that we have to be talking about. And then secondly, I manage players, you understand? And
Yes.
player welfare is very key. You understand? This is one of the reasons why I have always indicated that as a footballer, when you play in the Ghana Premier League for 10 years without going to Europe or without being called into the Black Stars, you have wasted your life.
Yes.
You understand?
That's
You
true.
have wasted your life, and it shouldn't be such. It should not be like that. I remember when a player, former Diana Stars captain and come striker,
Zuta?
no, not Zuta.
J.
No,
Former Indiana.
yes, their striker, TikTok,
Yaya Mohammed.
Yaya Mohammed. When he went to Sudan, is it Sudan or Kenya? And then came back and he said that his monthly salary, his 1 month salary, can buy a player in the Ghanaian Premier League. It is an indictment. It is an indictment on our league, but nobody took it seriously because it was a passage. It was a saying in passage. But that is the reality on the ground, because you can't tell me that a player, professional footballer, is earning less than $100 a month, less than $150 a month. And how do you want that player to wholeheartedly play the game? You see, so these are some of the things that we have to talk about, because I don't understand why sincerely, why a Black Star coach should be earning $50,000 or a coach or an administrator of a Ghanaian Premier League club should be earning maybe 20,000, 30,000, while the main architects of the game are earning 1,800 cedis a month. These are questions we have to genuinely ask.
There are a lot of issues with the Ghana football in general. Yes, so lot. If you want to continue, maybe you'd have to stay with us for the next 24 hours. But then this is where we draw the curtains. Have your share or have your say. Hohoe United playing with 10 men against Young Apostles, who also filled same number of players until the last 60 minutes, yes, or so. So yes, then also delved into deeper stuff concerning the Ghana Premier League and Ghana football in general. We need to improve on our infrastructure, player welfare, and stuff. Yes, so this is our media sports page. Kindly subscribe to our page, like, comment, and then share our page to reach more audience. Thank you for having us. Bye-bye.